Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Hey, Michelle, feeling good today? How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm good. Lindsay, I don't know if we've ever really talked about this. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm a righty.
You're a
Yeah,
righty.
I'm a righty. What about you? Are you a righty or a
I'm a
lefty?
lefty. I'm a
Oh,
lefty.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
you can
Yeah.
kind of see it, right? Like
Let me see it in the video here.
No, no,
The
no, no,
videos.
no. I don't mean no,
Oh,
no, no. I don't mean actually see it. I mean like you can like I feel like I seem like a lefty. I don't know.
okay. Interesting. What do lefties seem like? Just kind of what comes to mind?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Never mind. Now it sounds like I'm just giving myself compliments. But like, no, I think because lefties use the right side of the brain, which is maybe the more creative, and righties are more. But
Is that
only I
true?
think I don't know. I don't know. Never mind. But I think what is it? Only 10% of the population is left-handed, something like that.
I know. Yeah, not very much. Not very many people are. I always wonder how did that work in school with because most of the desks are
Yeah.
right-handed. How did that work when you were in school?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you adapt. I
You
mean,
adapt. Yeah.
there's always a smudgy, this part of the hand is always smudgy.
Yeah.
Like there's always like pencil all over it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and the words that you kind of just smudge over everything and everything doesn't look so good. Um
Huh.
Scissors, I feel like I may have told this story that I was in ninth grade. I was taking a science class, and on the first day we had to cut something, and I couldn't use the lefty scissors. I mean, there were
Yeah.
no lefty scissors. Did I
Yeah.
tell this? Yeah,
Probably.
and
Yeah.
my teacher said, "Oh," and I asked my teacher for scissors, and he said, "If you can't figure out how to use the righty scissors, you're never going to pass this class."
Oh my gosh, that is such a mean thing to say.
Yeah, and I was
Jeez.
so upset because
Traumatizing.
I play guitar righty, but most people do. There's some things
Oh.
that a lot of lefties just adapt to. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine using a computer mouse with my right hand. It,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
there
That's
are
a good
certain
point.
things. So, anyway, today
Interesting.
we're gonna talk about an expression dealing with the words left and right, and the expression is left and right.
Nice. Yeah, but and so this is an interesting conversation around lefties, righties. I know in tennis, lefties have an advantage for sure because I guess it's easier as a tennis player to disguise what you're going to hit
Mm,
as a lefty.
mhm, mhm,
So there are a lot of places where lefties have advantages, but this is not even talking today about lefties and righties, but it's talking
mm.
about this idea of completion, like everything is happening. It's something is thorough in a way, right?
Mhm, mhm. This was your idea, Lindsay,
Yep.
and this is a good one, so I'm excited. Guys, before we get into it, make sure you hit follow wherever you are listening to All Ears English.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to the episode 2091 where I interviewed Steve Kaufman, a linguist, he speaks multiple languages. Go and check that one out. Trust your brain for
Yes,
better language learning with Steve Kaufman. Okay,
perfect.
so left and
Let's
right
do
is
it.
today's expression, right, Michelle? Left
Yes,
and right.
left
Okay,
and right, yes.
okay,
So, this basically means from or to everywhere. Now that probably sounded confusing, but it can also mean something is happening a lot, maybe too much or without much logic or thought. So, let's give
yeah.
examples because that's gonna make it clear.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Here's an example. I've been applying for jobs left and right, but I haven't gotten any interviews. So, does that mean I'm just applying to a ton of jobs, Michelle,
Yeah.
basically? Yeah.
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 Maybe, yeah, you're just everywhere. Everywhere you're looking for jobs, you're applying for them, online, you're going to network events, whatever
Y
it is, but
Right.
yeah.
Or maybe you are applying online, but you're also, like, passing stores and you're seeing help wanted, you're
Mhm.
going in. It's just every avenue you are using.
Yes, every avenue, yes.
Yeah.
So another could be she has been asking me about the party every day. She brings it up left and right.
Yeah. So constantly. It's just constant, right? All the
Yeah.
time. Or let's see, I've been searching for a house left and right, but none match what I'm looking for. Yeah.
That's a huge one. I mean, I have so many I have friends and family members who are in the housing market, and they're just looking and looking, and it's just so tough to find something, and people can take years to find their house.
Yeah, it's a hard time right now to buy a house for sure. There's not a lot of inventory, right?
Mhm.
Because what's happened in our housing market is that, interest rates have gone up and owners just want to make sure they wanna be in that bidding war that they had before when they sold in 2020 where they'd have buyers
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'll give you $100,000 over asking price." They want that again, but they're not gonna get
Yes.
that, so they're
No.
waiting and they're not selling, right? It's a big mess right
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Or here's one more. She's been buying shoes left and right, and now she has no money for Christmas gifts.
Oh my gosh, some people love their shoes for sure.
Do you have a lot of shoes?
No, not really. I don't have a ton of shoes. I have just the right amount.
Good. The perfect
Yeah,
amount of
I'm not a
shoes.
shoe person. Yeah, for sure not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But here you see in these examples that the idea is something is happening a lot, everywhere,
yeah.
constantly.
Mhm.
Um, Lizzie, what kind of vibe do you feel this expression gives off?
Well, I feel like you're right, what you said earlier, Michelle, a little bit out of control. Like, okay, it's
Yeah.
it's playful, but it's also like, wow, this is happening a lot, left and right, everywhere. Everywhere I turn, this thing is happening,
Yeah, right.
right?
It can
Mhm.
exactly, and I think it depends on the context. It can show it shows some sort of emotion. I think it just is very emphatic. It kinda strengthens what you're
Yeah.
talking about, so it could make something even a little bit more silly or it show a little more frustration. I mean, for example, like, with the shoes,
Mhm. Yeah.
she won't stop buying shoes. I'm a little annoyed, and now she doesn't have money for Christmas gifts, but it's just this expression makes something like, "She's been buying too many shoes."
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been applying everywhere for jobs. She brings it up all the time. All of these get a little bit more interesting when you use left and right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, instead of saying so much, it's happening so much, she's buying so many shoes, as you said, Michelle, let's use something more interesting. Let's speak
Mhm.
in an interesting way. It makes me think of the word sneakerhead. Sneakerhead. Do you know anyone who is a sneakerhead, a sneaker enthusiast?
Yes, I do, I
You do?
do. My brother-in-law
Really?
and future sister-in-law, yes, they are yes, on the
Sneakerheads?
Nikes. Yes, I
Interesting.
yes, 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 yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, people
Actually, my
do.
mother-in-law my
Your mother-in-law
mother-in-law
too.
is
Wow, it sounds like it runs in the family on that side.
yes, it certainly does. Yeah, and I think maybe it's starting to happen to Dan. Not quite yet,
Oh.
but it's yeah, spilling
Okay.
over.
All right. Well, very interesting. Yeah, some people they consider sneakers like collectibles and they
Yeah,
like as soon as the sneaker is released, this version, that version, they're on top of it. They wait in lines. I mean,
yeah.
it gets pretty
Oh,
crazy.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're not like that. They're not
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
No. I actually never heard that, a sneakerhead.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I've heard it before and I just checked up the term on the dictionary. Yeah, sneakerhead is a sneaker enthusiast, right? Someone who just
Wow.
basically collects sneakers and just really a person who collects and trades sneakers as a hobby and who's
Oh,
typically
okay.
very knowledgeable about the history of sneakers as well. So
Oh,
maybe they're wearing some of them, but maybe they're trading and collecting them as
okay.
well. Like you would a
Okay,
stamp collection or coin collection.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back then. I thought it was just someone who really has a lot of sneakers. So, but this is okay. Good. Thank you for
I'm
sharing
not
that
sure
with
what
me.
the
So,
line is exactly. I mean, maybe they could
yeah,
be trending in that direction. I don't know, Michelle.
there's some sort of initiation process
Yeah.
if you pass a test about sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay. But do you think you can use left and right at work?
Yeah, I do, for sure. I mean, when you wanna report that something is happening a lot, it's not the most formal. It's not specifically formal for work, but you could use it. It all depends on the context that you're using it. But there are some other
Hmm.
things, Michelle, that we could say,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? Like constantly. I've been
Yeah.
constantly applying for jobs.
Right. Or you could say all the time. I've been applying for jobs all the time.
Yeah, or everywhere. I've been applying for jobs everywhere, and that means in every different location. So that meaning is just
Mhm.
slightly different as
Very
opposed to
slightly. Yeah.
left and right could mean every location, but it could also mean every opportunity, every day, all the time. Everywhere is very specific. Like at every shop on the block, I've applied for a job, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so context, Michelle. How much does that matter here?
Yeah. Well, like we already talked about this a little bit dealing with the shoe example. I mean, I don't know that this expression has one connotation, either positive or negative. I think it really just depends. I mean, like, positive could be something like, "Oh, she's been knitting socks for charity left and right. She's such a good person," right?
Mhm.
So it could be for something good, but it could also be for something negative.
Yeah, it's all about context. It just depends on what exactly you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's show our listeners a role play here. So here I am your personal trainer. Ooh, okay. New
Yes,
personal
my
trainer.
new
Fun.
yes, okay. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Okay. So what do you feel you need the most help with, Michelle?
Well, I've been working out left and right, but I haven't seen any results.
Oh, really? What's your diet like?
Well, I'll be honest, I snack constantly.
Oh, I mean, snacking is good. We definitely want to take nutrition into consideration as well as what you do in the gym.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you may be looking everywhere for new workout routines, but I also want to focus on what goes on in the kitchen. This can really help you grow muscle.
Great. Yeah, I do cardio all the time.
I think we should get some weights in there as well.
Okay.
Yes, and that is true. They say there's a lot of research that says that women in their 30s should be lifting weight, 30s and 40s. You want to be lifting weights more, right? To build up that bone density. That's what I'm trying to
That's
do
right.
these days. Yeah.
Me too.
I love that. You shared that on another episode that you and Dan are in the living room,
And
doing
yep,
the free
in the
weights. Love it.
doing the free weights. Okay, so here we go. Let's go through it. So I said I've been working out left and right, but I haven't seen any results. So here I'm just saying, like, all the time. I feel like I'm always working out. Nothing is happening.
Yeah, be all the time, right? Maybe weekends, weekdays, evenings, mornings, whatever it is, you're doing a lot. You're spending a lot of time.
Hmm.
And then you said, well, I'll be honest, I snack constantly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you said you may be looking everywhere for new workout routines, but I also want to focus on what goes on in the kitchen.
And then you said, great. Yes, I do cardio all the time. So these are like, we've shown you 3 or 4 ways to say something is happening frequently, right? It's a
Mhm.
big part
Mhm.
of your life. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
hmm
exactly. So, yeah, well, this is good. We have a lot of these expressions here that can be useful. Lindsay, anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Oh my gosh, this is great. It's good to have this resource, guys, to say because there are things that we're doing left and right, and maybe we're trying to achieve something, but it's not quite coming to us. That's
Mhm.
when we seek out help and we explain how much we've been doing the thing or trying to lift weights. I'm not gaining
Right.
muscle, or I'm lifting weights left and right, but I'm just not gaining that muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We
Yeah.
need to explain what we've tried as we go to find
Yes.
our resources. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. All right. So, should we leave it at that?
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Guys, hit that follow button. We believe in connection, not perfection. This again is a connection skill because you're describing what you've tried. So you're kind of letting people have a sense of empathy for you. I'm
True.
applying for jobs left and right, but nothing's working out. Then they see where you're at, right?
Right. Yes. It's a
Yeah.
good way to express that, to really let people in on what's been going on with your life.
On what's been going on. I actually like that angle. That's really good.
Yes.
Good stuff,
Yes.
Michelle. All right.
All
Well,
right. This was fun.
see you back on the show soon, Michelle. Have a
All
good
right.
day.
All right. Bye, Lindsay. Bye, guys.
Bye.